Hey, good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here. Friday morning, March 28th, p.m. in the a.m. Going to talk a little, what else? Basketball transfer portal. We are now at the end of week one, or, the work week of the transfer portal. It has been very slow. Of the top 100 transfers right now on 24/7 Sports, only 10 of them have picked a new school. And at least one of them was just a guy in Bennett Starts who was clearly going to follow his coach and didn't really go through a transfer process. So only 9 other guys have decided on their next destination. Part of that, certainly, teams still playing. School's not really yet into hosting visitors and things along those lines. But one of them committed to Missouri on Thursday. That is Jevon Porter via Pepperdine and then Loyola Marymount, the Columbia native coming back to play his final season for Mizzou. I know this family name tends to stir up some feelings among Mizzou fans, so I'm going to try to leave that alone and just talk to you about the basketball part. Javon's 6'11", 235. He's not like a traditional low post big man. That is not, they're not bringing him in to be the starting center. He can do some of the same things Mark Mitchell does. He can do some of the same things Trent Pierce does. He's a guy that he shot 152 3-pointers last year. Looking at his numbers, Loyola Marymount just said, go do whatever you want to do. Here's the ball. That's not going to be the case here. I think some structure will be good. I think that Porter is being brought in, like I said, to provide a little relief for Mark Mitchell, but also to provide some competition and to push Trent Pierce. If you look at Trent Pierce, he's probably the player on this roster that you most look at and say, there's another level there. Elite can happen. Like, it would not shock me if Trent Pierce is one of Missouri's 2 leading scorers next year. At the same time, year 3 on campus, it is time for that leap to happen. A lot of inconsistency this year, and it's understandable because last year he was hurt, didn't play a lot. But I think what Jevon Porter's addition does is give you a guy to, give an alternative. If you see those first 5 or 6 minutes and Trent Pierce isn't rebounding and doesn't really seem to be quite all the way focused in there, then you've got another option to put out there. Look, this is very Dennis Gates roster building, right? We may not know, hey, here are the top 5 players, or here are the 5 guys that are going to start all the time. But let's have a bunch of guys between like 6'5" and 6'11" and mix and match and see how it goes as the season goes on. Missouri still has 3 spots left. Again, no visits to campus yet. This is, as I wrote this morning, it's not a marathon, but it's certainly not a sprint. Let's say this is kind of like the mile. 25 days of the portal still to go. Missouri going to add at least 3 more players, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for hanging out. We'll be back Monday on PM in the AM. If anything happens over the weekend, we'll jump on here if need be. But like, comment, share, and subscribe while you're here. We'll talk to you next time.